Let's bring in NBC News correspondent Mike Memoli, who was on Biden's trip yesterday to Kenosha and is co-author of a new piece this morning entitled "Biden and Trump Put Different Visions on Vivid Display Back on the Campaign Trail." And I take it, Mike, that the Blake family didn't want much to do with Trump. They couldn't have had a meeting like this.
No, Mika. And really, I've been covering this campaign since the beginning. We've had nothing because of the pandemic resembling a normal general election so far, but this week really did feel like game on. We've seen Joe Biden and Donald Trump covering some of the same ground, but with very different messages, of course. But along with Monica Alba and Carol Lee, take stock of this week, and you really begin to wonder if these two candidates are not just running different campaigns with different messages, but operating in completely different universes, really. You had President Trump in Pittsburgh area yesterday talking about the record gains in the stock market. Joe Biden was in Pittsburgh on Monday at a former steel mill talking about how many families have had to file for bankruptcy. You had Joe Biden in Wilmington on Wednesday talking about the issue that his campaign thinks is first and foremost in voters' minds, the pandemic. Donald Trump in Wilmington, North Carolina, celebrating the 75th anniversary of World War II, not even mentioning the pandemic. And then, of course, most starkly yesterday, in Kenosha, the first order of business for Joe Biden was meeting with Jacob Blake's family, where President Trump, on his visit there earlier in the week, only met with law enforcement and looked at some of the remnants of the looting and rioting we saw there this week. Let's just take a little bit of a snapshot look at what we saw play out on the campaign trail this week.
I think we're rounding the turn on this China virus. We're rounding the turn. Vaccines are happening. Therapeutics are happening. You look at the statistics, they're really good.
President Trump may not think this is a national emergency, but I think going back to school for millions of children and the impacts on their families and the community is a national emergency. I believe that's what it is. Protecting our students, our educators, our communities, getting our schools open safely and effectively. This is a national emergency.
Mr. Blake was shot 7 times in the back.
Sure.
Do you believe that there is a need for structural change? What is your message?
Well, I think people are calling for structural change, and then you could take the people of Kenosha that aren't here and that you won't see and that aren't protesting, but they want change also. They want to see law and order. That's the change they want. They want law and order. They want the police to be police.
Well, I think, Alderman, what's been unleashed with a lot of people is they understand that fear doesn't solve problems. Only hope does.
There have been countless nonviolent protests here in Wisconsin and across the country this summer. People calling for an end to systemic racism. Do you believe systemic racism is a problem in this country?
Well, you just keep getting back to the opposite subject. We should talk about the kind of violence that we've seen in Portland and here and other places. It's tremendous violence.
Well, I think we've reached an inflection point in American history. I honest to God believe we have an enormous opportunity now that the screen, the curtain's been pulled back on just what's going on in the country, to do a lot of really positive things.
President, can you tell me what you would say to the Blake family? I know you didn't get a chance to talk to them, but what would you say to them in terms of the pain they're going through and the questions they have about what happened?
Well, I feel terribly for anybody that goes through that. That's why I was so honored to meet the pastors. I feel terribly for anybody that goes through that. As you know, it's under investigation.
Had an opportunity to spend some time with Jacob on the phone. He's out of ICU. We spoke for about 15 minutes. His brother and 2 sisters, his dad, and his mom on the telephone. And I've spoken to him a lot before, but we spent time together with my wife. And he talked about how nothing was going to defeat him. An average of 1,000 people dying every day in the month of August. Do you really feel safer under Donald Trump? Mr. Trump, you want to talk about fear? Do you know what people are afraid of in America? They're afraid they're going to get COVID. They're afraid they're going to get sick and die. And that is in no small part, it's because of you.
Hopefully rounding the turn on the pandemic. We're rounding that turn.
Mika, undergirding these very different approaches to the campaign are two very different assumptions about what the electorate is going to look like in November. The Trump campaign very clearly thinks the formula that worked for him in 2016, rallying his base and depressing the turnout of the Democratic side, is going to work again in 2020. The Biden campaign remains convinced that what we saw in 2018, a combination of fatigue with Trump and also a real motivation to get him out of office that helped Democrats win back the House, is also going to put him in the White House in November. Mika.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.